So recently, I had this trip in the islands of Malapascua. So I brought my Sony A7IV plus 2 lenses, just 2. And I think these 2 are the best lenses for the Sony A7IV. So what is up everyone, JFLores here. And for today's episode, I'm just gonna share to you probably my best 2 lenses or my lens combo when it comes for traveling for your Sony A7IV. So let's start off with the first lens. This lens basically I use a lot, well, most of the times for vlogging. This is my somewhat run and gun lens. This is the Tamron 20mm to 40mm 2.8. This lens is just perfect for wide and medium shots. 20mm for me is the perfect focal length for vlogging. I just find the 16mm too wide. And if I wanted a medium tight shot or some portraits, I just zoom into 40mm and is already good enough. The build quality of this lens is pretty solid as well. Weight is just around 360 grams. Has a filter size of 16mm, which is perfect because the second lens that we're gonna talk about later in this video is also at 67mm in filter size. The focus ring and zoom ring is very smooth, but take note, this lens does not have any physical buttons, unlike the second lens that we're gonna talk about later on. This lens has an f-stop of 2.8, which brings a decent amount or more than enough light for me. This is also perfect for landscape and street photography since the AF is very reliable and runs like a native Sony lens. Also to mention, you can do semi-macro shots with this lens because you just have a minimum focus distance of 6 inches. I don't know how to convert that to centimeters, but then again, 6 inches is just an average size for majority of the Filipinos, I guess. It's close enough. And lastly, the price of this lens is just at $699, and I think it's very fair and you are getting more than what you have paid for. So to the next lens, I call this my bokeh lens. I usually just use this outdoors since the indoors or my studio is pretty much small, so I can't maybe maximize this lens indoors. This is the Sony A7IV 1.8. This is my favorite focal length when it comes to portraits and close-up shots. Majority of the people would think that 85 is too tight for streets, but for me, this is just perfect since I don't have to move closer to my subject, and perfect for candid shots, of course. For me, 1.8 is just the sweet spot for bokeh or separation from your subject to your background. I find that the 1.4 or 1.2 is just too shallow, but I haven't tried those, so I am in no position to tell you guys what to do. For the build quality, it's built like a tank and it's just 371 grams compared to the Viltrox A7IV 1.8, which is ×2 or double its size, or no, its weight. That was heavy as hell. Well, it makes sense because that was probably made of all metal, and this one is just hard plastic and some components are metal. But then again, it's built like a tank. It's native Sony lens. You can't go wrong with those lenses. And basically, there's not much to say about this lens since we all know how lovely the outputs of an 85mm looks like. And I think the price of this lens is just probably the same or similar with the Tamron 20 to 40mm. So I think that's it for this episode, everyone. I hope you had fun. I hope I've helped you decide on what lenses to get for your Sony A7IV. And trust me, this combo is very versatile enough. So if you are on streets, landscapes, and maybe all around, you don't know what to do, no niche yet, I think this combo is just the perfect combo for you guys. I've said combo tons of times. That's it. God bless. Stay safe. Peace.